They say that lightning never strikes the same place twice, but if you ask audiences of The Postman Always Rings Twice, 1981, they might tell you that it sure felt real the first time. And the second, the film's infamous tabletop scene between Jack Nicholson and Jessica Lange, is one of the most talked about in cinema history. Even today, whispers linger about its realism. Was it truly simulated, or did they cross that forbidden line? Let's dig deep into the gritty world of betrayal, passion, and murder, and find out why that scene still lives, rent-free in our collective imagination. Directed by Bob Rafelson and adapted from the classic 1934 novel by James M. Cain, this 1981 version of The Postman Always Rings Twice marks the fourth time the story was brought to the screen, but the first in full, unapologetic color. The original French adaptation debuted in 1939, followed by an Italian rendition in 1943, and the most iconic version in 1946 starring Lana Turner. Turner was so disturbed by the 1981 remake that she refused to watch it, calling it trash after seeing just the trailers. But Nicholson and Lange had other ideas. They wanted to push the boundaries of lust and violence in ways the 40s never could. The story is as raw and American as they come. Set during the Great Depression, Jack Nicholson plays Frank Chambers, a drifter with nowhere to go and nothing to lose. He stumbles into a rural California diner run by Cora Papadakis, played with sultry resolve by Jessica Lange. Cora is trapped in a passionless marriage to Nick Papadakis, a much older Greek immigrant portrayed by John Colicos. Their relationship is more business transaction than love story. He's the hard-working but oblivious proprietor, and she's the unsatisfied wife, desperate for something more. Frank and Cora's connection is instant and explosive. Their affair begins in the kitchen of that dusty diner, simmering with so much intensity that it's only a matter of time before it boils over. And when it does, it spills blood. The lovers conspire to murder Nick, not just for their freedom, but for control of the diner, a place Cora sees as her ticket to independence. Their first attempt at killing him is a spectacular failure involving a botched car accident that leaves them both shaken but undeterred. But murder, much like love, is a persistent force. Their second try is successful, brutal and messy, a staged accident that doesn't look staged at all. But even with Nick out of the picture, their troubles are far from over. The film captures that grimy, sweat-soaked intensity of forbidden love. Frank's affair with Madge Gorland, played by Angelica Houston, only deepens the sense of betrayal and chaos. Meanwhile, Cora's pregnancy brings a shred of hope, but it's tainted by distrust and paranoia. By the end, as they drive towards what they believe is a fresh start, fate deals its final hand in the form of a fatal car accident that claims Cora's life. A chilling echo of Cain's original metaphor. The postman always rings twice. Justice, no matter how delayed, always comes back around. Now let's talk about that infamous kitchen tabletop scene. It's one of the most enduring myths in Hollywood. The passion and intensity were so raw, so unbridled, that audiences questioned if Nicholson and Lange had really gone all the way. In an era before mainstream erotic thrillers like Body Heat, Fatal Attraction, and Basic Instinct, The Postman Always Rings Twice was a shock to the system. Irish censors, notorious for their strictness, allowed the film to pass uncut, an unprecedented move at the time. Even more surprising was the reaction in conservative circles in the United States, with some calling for bans and censorship, citing it as corruptive and immoral. Both Nicholson and Lange have denied the rumors, maintaining that everything was purely professional. Yet, the authenticity of the scene had the world convinced otherwise. Director Bob Rafelson cleared the set entirely, leaving only himself and the cinematographer to capture the moment. The intention was to make the passion as real as possible without crossing lines, but to this day, the rumors persist. Nicholson even commented that people were anxious to disqualify the film because of its unapologetic portrayal of lust and betrayal. In fact, rumors flew that the studio received pressure to cut the scene before its theatrical release, a move that was narrowly avoided. Before we continue, a quick shout out to Perfect Fifth. They've got some incredible old school music inspired graphic tees like this VU meter design capturing that perfect analog vibe, or this melting vinyl sunset, a minimalist ode to the golden era of vinyl. And this Star Strings and Stripes, a rock and roll twist that's perfect for the Patriots. And for Golden Throwback viewers, they're giving you an exclusive 20% off with the code THROWBACK20. Check out the link in the description. Now, back to the video. The production itself was gritty and isolated, mirroring the bleakness of the story. The Twin Oaks Diner was constructed on a remote road in San Marcos, California, while a rundown hotel in LA's Skid Row doubled as a 1930s-era bus station. Much of the film was shot in and around San Diego, with a sense of desolation baked right into the visuals. To capture the dusty, sun-bleached look of Depression-era California, cinematographer Sven Nykvist used natural lighting whenever possible, adding a sense of authenticity to the sweaty, claustrophobic tension on screen. Despite its ambition, The Postman Always Rings Twice was savaged by critics. Many claimed it paled in comparison to the 1946 version, especially in its ending. The ambiguity of the title, which serves as a metaphor for inevitable justice, was criticized for its lack of clarity in the remake. Nicholson, however, was quick to defend the film, pointing out that it made money despite what reviewers claimed. He even cited receiving payments for its overages, proof, he said, that audiences had not abandoned it. But the real legacy of The Postman Always Rings Twice lies in its raw depiction of lust and violence. An honest, unflinching look at two people so trapped in their desires that destruction was the only way out. That kitchen scene, whether real or simply masterfully executed, is burned into the memories of anyone who's seen it, a testament to the power of cinema to blur the lines between fantasy and reality. So, what do you think? Did Nicholson and Lange really go there? Or was it just pure movie magic? Now it's time to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's most jaw-dropping moments.